Hey, Shalom, Akim Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Those in the gospel brother lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is titled, Get the Word While You Still Can. As time is winding down, judgment is being brought forth. Okay, brothers are being tried. Well, constantly being tried, essential, walking this faith. But overall, man, get the word while you still can. Okay, because they're getting ready to shut this thing down, and they're getting ready to crack down on this whole internet thing. This guy Dabu7 brought out a video yesterday. I believe it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Basically going into how these SWAT groups were targeting certain YouTube bloggers and certain social media bloggers and shaking them down whatsoever, okay? Which is, in my opinion, a step towards the famine of the word and trying to shut brothers up from teaching his word, man. Because, hey, Esau is being exposed through the Holy Spirit, through the men of the Lord, okay? And breaking down the strongholds. Because for a long time, man, Esau was able to get away with twisted narratives, getting away with spinning narratives and putting things out there that wasn't really unprofitable to our people. Like, what's this guy's name, man? I was just reading a little thing on it. This guy, what's this guy's name? Basically, he adopted his 10-year-old wife. I think she's like from Asia, some goddamn where. I guess he was 10. Woody Allen or something like that. He adopted like a 10-year-old Asian chick when she was younger. Now she's up in age, which he's an old man, and he was pretty up there in age when he adopted her too. But now allegedly he married this woman, but everybody's giving this guy R. Kelly a lot of bullshit about alleged trafficking and all this other crazy stuff, and they gave the nigga 30 years in prison, which that's R. Kelly's own fault, because that's what happens when you sell out to the Baphomet, man. Okay, you sell yourself out to get fame with this. Now you got to deal with the backlash consequences of it, man. Okay, now it could be what they call a humiliation ritual. It could be that, we're not negating that. It could be for some later clout or whatever they want to call it. Overall, man, he's in a hot seat now, and he's getting ready to have a hellified judgment on him, man, due to what he allegedly did. Which we're not saying R. Kelly was righteous, but you had far more men that done a lot worse than what he did, allegedly. Okay, like this guy, Hugh Hefner. Man, he was known for dealing with these young girls, man, but nobody's giving him a hard time at all. Okay, they came out with a list of people that was on the Epstein Island, and guess whose name popped up? Hugh Hefner was there, Tom Hanks, fucking Jay-Z, Beyonce, Clintons, man, Trumps, all them guys, Obama, fucking, what's this clown's name? What's this guy's name, man? Fucking Joe Biden. All these people had a play in these pedophile rings, just to name a few. But see, when you listen to Jewish-led media narratives, you're gonna always be deceived by what the real story is, because America have what they call a media blackout on important information. Like right now, all the food riots that's going on in the world, America ain't really covering that for real. Why? Because through the spirit, they don't want people to know what's happening, because they want to save face and keep people in the dark, man. Okay, so this word, man, it's been going forth, and it's been sealing who it needs to seal, and that's why we're telling brothers, man, to just take heed in the spirit, because there's a lot of weird shit going on in Israel, man. It's a lot of weird shit. Lord is making very, very strategic chess moves, man. He's chastening, so we need to chasten and correcting, through certain infirmities, man. Certain men are being led by their own vain opinion. Men are acting mad, man. It's just like a bunch of back and forth fucking bullshit, man. And, we call a spade on that. Like, now you got this whole thing now about the Paul and Barnabas doctrine with it's fucking weirdo, man. It's weird-ass doctrine, man. Okay, I guess this guy War and the other guy, I don't know the guy's name. But basically, man, long story short, it's been a thing between them and or us and them and us, whatever you want to say, because they feel that we are slandering the men of the Great Millstone, are slandering them because we call them rebels and they're going off. That's not slander, man. Nobody's defaming your character. People are just calling out what the hell they see is off, just a hypocrisy in it, man. And then guys are calling out shit that we're allegedly doing. Like, my thing is this, is if you say that we're using certain divisive tactics on you guys with a war, you doing the same thing you claim we doing, man. Okay, and if it was in the right spirit, because your whole big beef, from what I know, for the part that I do know, because apparently there's some other stuff going on that it ain't really being talked about. But my thing is this: you had a big thing about the King Masha being King David and all this other stuff. Okay, if you can't receive it, then don't receive it. You know what I'm saying? It's just what it is, man. However you choose to take that. Okay, really, I don't go into all that, you know, because really it ain't really me to go into stuff like that. I just know what I believe through the spirit. But at the end of the day, man, the Most High is gonna do what he gotta do. But my thing is this: okay, so why aren't you correcting people calling you guys Paul and Barnabas, man? Because if you read the story of Paul and Barnabas, yeah, they were men of the Lord, but they didn't even end on a good note. Okay, because they had a dispute on whether Mark, okay, should continue in the faith and whether he should go or whether he was doing the right thing or not. So if that's the case, you got a bunch of men that's supporting your cause and your movement, but these men don't even have these men are not even in the right spirit. Okay, they're jumping ship and hopping on a bandwagon because they have, or they feel some type of way about GMS or the apostles and so forth like that, because they say that we making ourselves the top group. We ain't making ourselves top shit. Okay, GMS is just a title that men we just have. At the end of the day, when the Lord deals with the elect, it's just the Lord is going to be dealing with his men, period, man. We didn't say all the elect going to come out of Great Millstone. We never said that. But my thing is, if you have a problem with the David and Masha thing, then you have to have a problem with people calling you Paul and Barnabas, and you have to rebuke that. Okay, you can't say that, oh, well, I just hope I'm chosen, brother. You can't say that, man. That's straddling the fence, bro. Okay, you gotta correct that. If you really have a problem with who men are coming back in the reincarnation, then you gotta correct the fact that it's a doctrine or a statement out about you guys calling you Paul and Barnabas. Because if not, that's hypocritical, man. Okay, because a lot of guys that sign with y'all, a lot of them don't have no works. A lot of them don't even know the inside or what's going on. A lot of them on the outside looking in. A lot of them are getting information from men that was kicked out from the camp or left from the camp. You know what I'm saying? Because it's always the same story when a man get kicked out or he leaves. There's always, well, who taught? It's always, well, the Spirit taught me. You ain't got to be in no group, which you don't. You don't have to be part of a group to get salvation. We're not going to take that from guys. But being realistically, it's always the same thing, man. It's always the same way Yahushua taught me. It ain't about who taught me. It's always about Great Millstone is wicked. They're in bondage, this and this and this. It's always the same story with this cats. It's the same thing. The narratives don't change. It's just different players, man. Same thing with Nazariah. Same thing with the guy from Detroit. Same thing with a lot of guys, man, that left or got kicked out or whatever you want to call it. It's always been the same fucking story every time. Well, you know, the Lord, the book taught us, man. But okay, if you learn it from the scriptures, okay. But initially, what was the seed planted? Because if you go into Mark the 4th, I think it's the 6th chapter, when Yahushua goes into the seed of the sower and you plant certain seeds and certain seeds fall upon stony ground. Men plant the seed and the Most High, he'll give the increase, okay? Just because apostles wake you up, you know, and you do the work doesn't mean the Lord is dealing with you. But also, it doesn't mean that the Lord not dealing with you. You know, so it's just like, you say we knocking you, but you knocking us, okay? And when you speak against us, you making it seem like we are hiding behind this organization. Okay, and that's not the case. And I'm speaking for myself, man. Because every man have different walks in this thing. Every man have different motives, whatever you want to call it. But speaking for myself, man, you know, because when you try to say a whole group is doing X, Y, and Z, you putting everybody under one fucking banner. And that's not how it goes, man. Okay? Certain brothers are in Great Millstone because it's what the Spirit had them to be. Okay? And yes, me personally, I do believe the apostles and elders are the men of the Lord. I believe that. Okay, I truly believe that. I believe brothers inside Great Millstone. I believe you have the men of the Lord in the church. I believe that the brothers are the men of the Lord, the ones that's doing the right thing. I believe certain brothers outside of the Great Millstone, I believe you do have men of the Lord outside of Great Millstone. Me personally, I know a couple of guys that's not even in the camps, but they're out there on the street speaking, and they're doing what they're supposed to do. I can't take that away from them guys, man. So at the end of the day, man, you guys got to be real careful about what you say and how you say it, man. Okay? It's just point blank, period. Because you can't let these men on the outside make you big-headed now because you feel you got a support system. Because the Most High said, hey, follow not a multitude to do evil, man. A lot of them guys that support you, you ain't even prove them yet. They're just coming on the board saying, well, you know what, brother, we gonna support you. Support what? Do they know the whole story about what happened with you or anybody else? Or is it just some type of get on the board and slam pain? Because as much as you say that we're slandering you guys, we can say that you're slandering us. Or men of the fold, we can say that. Okay? And what the statement Apostle Gabar said, he said if you left us, meaning that the spirit or whatever, he made a statement that Award said. He said something about, well, if you leave us, then the spirit or something's not dealing with you, something to that magnitude. And what I get from that, and this is when, you know, guys that try to use certain subtle tactics, and you got to be very careful with that. Because the scripture said, deceitful man have many trains. See, when he made that statement, he wasn't alluding to the fact of being in GMS. See, and this is when you got to know how to discern shit through the spirit. He wasn't saying, oh, you lead GMS. Now, it may have came off that way. Well, that's probably how you took it because you want to take it that way. Because you want to make it seem like you got to be part of a fucking camp to get salvation. No, that's not true. But seeing this thing before, seeing it time and time again, usually men that leave the camp, they always have some type of bitterness in them, some type of hate or whatever, some type of problem they felt didn't get resolved. And that's a hard thing about being over men. Being over men is the worst shit, man. That's one of the hardest lots you can ever deal with. You know, being over men, because you're dealing with different personalities, man. You're dealing with all types of mindsets. It's a clusterfuck. But what I was getting at, what he meant by that statement, was the fact that usually guys that leave the groups or whatever, man, and they get disgruntled, then the doctrine changed, then the mindset changed, then you stop believing in a cause that you was in this thing for. That's why I get he was saying. I don't think he meant, oh, you leave GMS, you're not of the elect. I don't think he meant it that way, man. As many videos as I've heard these men say, you don't have to be in GMS to be a man of the Lord. He couldn't. That would make him basically a hypocrite and speaking with a double tongue. And I don't believe he meant that for 1 second, man. And a war, I think you know that, man. I think you're just using certain tactics to try to cause more division, man. Okay? Because come on, man. You got to be more articulate than that, bro. You're not stupid. So when he made a statement, I don't think he meant and say, well, you leave GMS, you're not of the elect. I don't think he meant that. I seriously think that he meant that once you leave the group or whatever, usually the spirit starts to leave, man, because when they leave, it's always for some bullshit reason, or it's something they couldn't get over, or it's some type of hate or hatred in their mindset, which takes the spirit away. Because if you just left and you know what I'm saying, and continue to do what you had to do or whatever, then, I mean, nobody can say anything about it. But see, my thing is, okay, when you left, why was this shit not talked about before? Now, it could have been. But, you know, like the Lord, it says he revealed everything in due time. In that same chapter, Mark, I believe it's the 6th chapter, it tells you that everything that's done in the dark will come to the light. So obviously it was some ill will there on whoever's behalf. You know, and everything is going to be sorted out when the Lord sorts it all out. You know, so that's just my 2 cents in it. Other than that, man, it's minuscule, man. At the end of the day, I'm trying to get salvation. I'm focusing on these prophecies, man, because you know what, man, Esau, this nigga got super soldiers. He got all types of shit out here that, you know, us personally, that we getting ready to see a whole different world, man. You know, like this article came out, and I'm at work, man, so I gotta shut it down real quick. But this article came out, man, that back in 2010, they are talking about the decline of the American empire by 2025, man. It's very interesting. All right, but anyway, Salakia, brothers, I couldn't get any of your scriptures. We're just in the spirit, just speaking on certain things. But yeah, man, I'm gonna give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bashim Kakadash. And with that, Shalom and a Baba Ball, you brothers stay up. Shalom.